usually think people fall suddenly. We hear a story in the news or someone in our own circle gets caught out and we ask, how could it happen? How did they go so far? Welcome to the Sebcast, home of the #1 network for your life. Here we turn our beloved stories upside down, look at what history may have missed, and discover together how Jesus invites us into a bigger story right where we live, work, and play. But what if that's not how people fall? What if no one actually suddenly becomes someone they themselves would despise? What if it always happens slowly? That's where we need to start. The Bible tells a story we usually read wrong. We know it well. It's the story of David, the man after God's heart, the shepherd, the poet, the king. And of course, we always think the problem starts with Bathsheba. But it doesn't. The problem starts months before Bathsheba. David stays home when the kings go to war. He withdraws himself from the rhythm. He moves away from people who live, talk, and fight with him. There's no sign of great sin, just a small withdrawal. And that's the point. David's fall doesn't start with a decision. It begins with a direction. What if the most significant spiritual danger in your life isn't sin, but the direction in which you are moving unnoticed? We live in a culture of moments, photos, achievement, reactions, results. But character doesn't work that way. The soul works slowly. You don't become someone else over a weekend. You become that through repetition without attention. You might not be able to live with yourself today if you did certain things. But if your soul remains uncared for, your future self won't be your current self. It's not a threat, it's a description. Everything that remains uncared for eventually becomes unhealthy. Not because you are bad, but because nothing stays healthy by itself. That's why Paul doesn't start with do better. He begins with give yourself. Not a part, not when you need God, not just your moral side. Your whole self. Because the Christian life is not primarily about behavior, it's about formation. The question is not just, what am I not doing? The question is, what kind of person am I becoming if I keep living this way? And here the #1 network for your life comes in, not as a program, but as an answer. Double lives flourish in isolation. Whole people grow in relationships. God has never formed people alone. Not David, not Paul, not Jesus' disciples. The network is not there to catch you when you have already fallen. It is there so you can be seen early, earlier than Bathsheba, earlier than the crisis, earlier than the breaking point. Maybe the most important spiritual question for 2026 is not, what do I want to achieve? But instead, who is helping me become who I am becoming? Because direction doesn't lie. And grace works best when you act in time and consistently. Come walk with us this year at South Ward. Don't isolate and go through another apathetic year. Before long, you'll start living completely without God. Maybe this year is your last chance before you fall completely off the edge. Join and show up and protect your soul with us. See you tomorrow. Take care.